Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. Heck, there's even a Tenkar's Tavern toilet if you want to go to the TSR Discord. Listen, I aim to please, so I ask you that you please aim when you use the Tenkar's Tavern toilet. So, what do we have here? Well, from N-World, of all places, N-World is becoming much more of an authoritative source for information in the gaming industry than it was a year or two ago. So I will tip my figurative hat to Morris. It's certainly been much better than it was. D&D Beyond will delist 2 books on May 17th. Oh my God, today's the 12th of May. We got 5 days left. If you want to buy these following books, your time is short. D&D Beyond will permanently be removing Volo's Guide to Monsters and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes on May 17th. All right. Of course, it doesn't. I can't. There we go. On May 17th, in favor of the upcoming Monsters of the Multiverse. That sounds like a Marvel Comics title, if you ask me. But in any case, which largely couples and updates that manual. As per the D&D Beyond facts from Mordenkainen presents Monsters of the Multiverse. Starting on May 16th, you can acquire the streamlined and up-to-date creatures and character race options, as well as a plethora. It's a plethora of exciting new content by purchasing Mordenkainen's Presents Monsters of the Multiverse. On May 17th, Volo's Guide to Monsters and the Mordenkainen Tome of Foes will be discontinued from our digital marketplace. Now, hold on. For you 5e players, just give it a second. If you already own these books, you will still have access to your purchases and any characters or encounters you built with them. They won't be removed from your purchase source books. Therefore, if you want the fluff and tables in those 2 tomes in D&D Beyond, you need to purchase them soon. So what are we saying there? I'll tell you what you're saying there. This is not your content. This is not your purchase. For those of you who may have forgotten what a digital purchase is, oh, I've got my Kindle book. Until Kindle says, yeah, Amazon says, sorry. Yeah, this is no longer in the right frame of mind, not the right spirit. You no longer have access to this book. Is this quite what Wizards of the Coast is saying? No, they're saying, well, you could purchase these books through this, the 17th? But, oh, yes, on the 17th, they're discontinued. So you have a chance to get them before the 16th. Otherwise, only the new date. They're going to be mind wiped. All right? So, they no longer exist. That's something that we have not dealt with in gaming really prior, right? I got my AD&D 1A Player's Handbook, my Unearthed Arcana. I've got the Unearthed Arcana Errata from Dragon Magazine. All the other shit. Now, what if it was like, oh, no, there's no... Yeah, well, you know what you think you have. And by the way, if you have a certain print, it's no longer going to have a digital copy. If you find it in print, I'm sure it's still out there in stores, right? There are still stores that are carrying this. They're not saying, oh my God, we're going to have to remove this. No, it's still out there. But guess what? You don't control it. You don't own it. There is, and I've heard this argument before, and this is a slap in the face. You don't own your digital content. At best, you rent it. At best, it is what it currently is. I've said this before. I will say this again. There's not going to be a 6E of D&D. There's going to be a stealth release. It will probably be a new print release. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be edited and newly laid out with new art, and it's going to look fine. But the actual system is going to be the same. But all these stealth changes they've done with 5E are going for the lore, okay, for the fluff. It's all going to be changed in the new releases. That will be when they update it. We've seen it happening already. Some of you just didn't accept it, didn't expect it. I understand it. They're telling you right now that this stuff is going down the memory hole. It's no longer going to be what you thought it was. Now, if you have digital copies, sure. Oh, you can still use it. We're going to tag it that it's no longer official. And if you don't have it by the 16th, well, guess what? You're not going to have it. You'll have to get their newer edition, their newer version, their revision. And by the way, you have to buy the new revision in print, I am sure, because if you want to be up to date with the gameplay, this old gameplay is erased. It's gone, forgotten. So 5E, the one system to rule it all and in the darkness bind them, is not going to change. It's not the game system itself. Coming from somebody who is not particularly a 5E fan, the 5E game system is probably rock solid. It's not going to change. Minor tweaks maybe with the next printing of this, but it is what it is. But they're going to change the fluff, and your prior versions, if all you have is digital, it's going to be what they give you. It means a lot, not just to 5E, but for digital content going forward. Can you buy or find the Star Wars, the original Star Wars, Episode 4, right? Was it A New Hope? Where Han shoots first, right? That was scrubbed out of the memory hole, and you could only get the new version where I don't know who shot first, but probably not Han, because that would make him look less than reputable. Interesting, right? So there you go. If you have the Volo's Guide to Monsters or Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, be happy, because what you have no longer will exist in less than a week. Go figure. All right, folks, on that note, we are still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. I ask you, not as your father, I'm not your fucking father. I ask you as a friend. All right, how about that? Well, I ask you as a friend. Use your common sense. You know where you live. You know the risk factor. You know what's going on. Use your common sense. Other than that, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, and God willing, I will talk with you all tomorrow. Live stream tomorrow night, 8 p.m. I believe it's the random generated party. And live stream 8 p.m. on Saturday. Myself, my wife Rachel, Gamers Health. Will be an interesting episode. I will give you that much. A lot of updates. So, until then.